Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're actually going to cover 3 different Xbox controllers that, well, in my opinion, are best for competitive play. What is competitive gaming? Well, that's what games are, right? If you're playing online, you're really playing competitively, whether it's Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Halo Infinite, you name it. Madden, NBA, it doesn't matter. Competitive gaming is competitive gaming. Competitive gaming is all about precision and speed, and that's what these controllers need to be, right? A controller can make or break the performance, impacting your reaction times and accuracy. Today, we're diving deep into a world of Xbox controllers to find the best one for competitive play. We're going to cover a couple of key features: button response, ergonomics, and customization. First, we're going to look at each controller, tell you how it feels in the hand, and give you an outline of each feature of the controllers. Then we're going to go and compare the specs of each 3 together, and finally the price to see which one best fits your needs and your budget. Let's get into it. So here are the 3 controllers that I decided to go with. It took me a little while to decide on exactly which ones I was going to choose, but I'm sure by looking at these cases, you might have an idea of what at least 2 of them are. I decided to go with 2 wireless options and 1 wired, and it all came down to feature set and, well, performance. So first, let's take a look at, well, you can see this is a Fusion controller by PowerA. This is the Fusion Pro Wireless, which is the wireless version of the Pro 4. Pro 4 is the most recent release. So I've covered all of these in videos before. This one has your Hall effect sticks. It does have membrane face buttons. It has Hall effect triggers, 4 programmable back buttons, trigger locks, and adjustable sticks for height. And of course, what else do you have? The lights. There are a lot of people that either love the lights or hate the lights. To me, I think this is a fantastic controller. I have thumb caps on my sticks because that's what I like. It has a great feel in the hand. It feels like your solid Xbox controller. It's got a nice grip on the back, and the grip is actually the PowerA logos. And it just feels like a great controller. Everything about this controller is a fantastic controller. I've been using it for quite some time. Now it is the mid tier of the 3 of these in terms of price. And like I said, we'll get to that in a bit, but I think this is a fantastic option. So let's put that there for the minute. We'll move that to the side. The next one, well, you got an idea of what this one is. This one I put in a case myself, and that is the GameSir G7 HE. Yes, this is the Iron Man edition. You can remove the faceplates, swap them out if you choose. That is one of the big things that I like about this. It is a wired controller. Now, my favorite thing about this one is it can be upgraded from 500 to 1000 hertz, plugging into your PC. And then once you bring it over to the Xbox, you can play with it at 1000 hertz. Most people are like, no, you can't. Yes, you can. Actually, just do it. But yes, download the app on your PC, plug it in and recognize it, and then upgrade it. But once you upgrade it, it disables the headphone jack. Keep that in mind. Now, it has Hall effect sticks, Hall effect triggers. Big thing about this one: mechanical face buttons, membrane D-pad, 2 programmable back buttons. Now, there's no trigger locks, but we're also talking about half the price of the Fusion. Again, we'll get to that in a minute. This has been a surprise hit to me. GameSir really came out of nowhere and just started knocking home runs with their controller offerings, whether it's the G7 SE, G7 HE, Collide, or Collide Flux. Very awesome entries, and you're really not going to go wrong with any one you choose, even if you choose their T7 offering, which is their entry-level fantastic controller with Hall effect sticks. But there we go. That is a fantastic option. Now, keep this in mind. You can use all these with your PC as well. This one is the most expensive of the lot. and this is the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. Now, this one is wireless. Both this one and the Fusion Wireless, well, are wireless, but with dongle support. They both have charging docks, so you can also use your cables as well. Now, this one's a bit different because it still has your Hall Effect sticks and trigger locks, 4 back right here. There's your trigger locks. There's your 4 back buttons. You got your screen. Oh yeah, that's the big deal on this one. This one has the screen. You also have some nifty RGB lighting. Now I have mine set up in red, white, and blue. America, of course. You can control a lot of the features, profiles, customization, all through that screen without having to go to the app or plug it into your PC. It's a fantastic feature. Yes, it makes this controller a bit more expensive, but the more you get, usually the more you're going to pay for. Now, the other big thing about this is all mechanical buttons. Everything here is mechanical, unlike the G7 HE, which just has mechanical face buttons, and the Fusion, which has no mechanical buttons. Usually when you get to a mechanical button controller, it's going to cost more. It's usually how it is. When you get wireless, you're going to cost more. And then once you get the screen, you're going to cost more. But they are very, very comfortable. Turtle Beach controllers have been the most comfortable out of all the controllers I've ever used. They just fit in the hand, especially the Stealth Ultra, just beautifully. I've covered the Pivot before as well, and I think that's a fantastic controller. But this is definitely the one I would choose from the Turtle Beach line. I think this is extremely comfortable. It has your rubberized grips here, and the good thing is no smudges. So you have a matte finish here and a smooth, I wouldn't say gloss, but it's a smooth plastic here. Fingerprints aren't going to be an issue. And again, like I said, you've got your 4 back buttons, which can be programmed, and it's extremely comfortable in the hand. The G7 HE just feels like a solid controller. Feels so good in the hand. Also has rubberized grips. And then the Fusion Pro 4 also feels great in the hand. I think this is, out of all of them, the bulkiest. It's the heaviest, but the sticks are smooth. It's got nice tension. It's got some nice weight. I would have to say this is probably the grip that I like the least out of all of them. It doesn't bother me, but if I had to choose, I think this is the one that I like the least. Turtle Beach being number 1, the GameSir being number 2, and the PowerA being number 3, just in terms of grip feel. But in the hand, this has the most weight. It feels the most substantial. That's my gripe about the Stealth Ultra. It is the lightest. It is an extremely light controller. For everything that's in here, I would expect it to be a bit heavier. Even the G7 HE is heavier than the Stealth Ultra, and it's a wired controller. Those would be my picks, and that is, well, a comparison of the 3 of them just in terms of feel and aesthetics. So very awesome controllers. Now, what we got to do, we got to compare the specs. First controller we're going to test is the GameSir G7 HE. Now, the site that I'm using is controllertest.org. You can go there if you want to see live latency and information on your controller as well. So, like I said, first we're going to do the GameSir G7 HE, and we're going to show exactly how many button presses and the minimum and the maximum as well as average latency on each button press. Minimum 0.5 milliseconds, max 5.5, average 2.5. It's roughly averaging the same. On all 4 face buttons. As you can see, it ranges from 0.5 milliseconds to 2.8 milliseconds, depending on the button you're pressing. So pretty quick. That's usually how it is with mechanical buttons. Right bumper, left bumper, right bumper, left bumper. Roughly about the same as the others, 0.7 milliseconds to 2.9 milliseconds. Very good. Now left trigger and right trigger. So you're looking at a minimum of, same thing, 0.5 milliseconds up to 2.8 milliseconds. And they're all great. As you can see, everything here is listed as great. So you got your select and back buttons. Right around the same thing, 0.5 up to looking like an average of 2.6. 0.6, average of 2.9, 2.8, so that's really good as well. Now, if we scroll down, you can see a couple of extra ones, such as left stick press. Bit slower than the others. 0.7, average 3.1. Not too shabby. D-pad up. Up, 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 up. Everything seems to be around the same for all the buttons. So let's go down a little further. You can see yeah, latency is no issue and everything seems to be great. And that's the G7 HE. Next is the PowerA Fusion Pro wireless. Same thing, we're going to go with each of the button presses. Got the X button, Y button, B button, sorry, A button, and B button. Now, I will say it looks like the B button, being the longest traveled, might have the most latency. But it looks like it's still roughly on the same level as the G7 HE. The G7 HE seems to be a bit faster in terms of face buttons. Same thing for the left and right bumpers. That is with trigger locks. Now let's turn off the trigger locks. Roughly the same thing. So you're looking at a lot of the similar specs on each of these. Start, back. Now let's scroll down and see some of the others. Much higher latency in the stick presses. Much higher latency. D-pad, very low. Roughly about the same. So there's really not much to complain about in terms of latency for either the G7 HE or the Fusion Pro wireless. Now on to the next. The final one we're testing is the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. Yes, why did I save this one for last? Well, it just happened to be that way. Same thing, let us test the face buttons first. Wow, that's no good. The A button has a max latency of 23.6 milliseconds, minimum of a 0.8, average is a 3.3. Not good. Let's try B. Much better. Oof. Let's try X. Much better, but still it looks like the Fusion and the G7 HE outperform. There's just something about the A button, which the max latency is 23.6 milliseconds. That is slow. Let's do left bumper. Slower than the other two controllers. Right bumper, roughly about the same. Left trigger. Slightly bit slower, but roughly the same. We're looking like we're doing a lot of the roughly the same with a little bit slower. There you go. Those really aren't that important. The start and back buttons. Left stick click. Roughly the same. Now, D-pad is very important. Oof. The D-pad latency is slower on the Turtle Beach. There you go. Yeah, that's telling. That is definitely telling. Now we're going to go over pricing for each of the three controllers, and I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad that the most expensive one is the one that lacked in performance. Go figure, but it does have the most features. Now that one is the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, and the Stealth Ultra is sitting at $133.99 right now on Amazon. All the prices I'm going to give you are the Amazon prices because that's where it's going to be the easiest for most people to get. The regular price for this one is $200. So at $133.99, it's almost like a steal. Very good controller. Less expensive than it normally is, but you're sitting at $133.99 on Amazon. Next is the PowerA Fusion Pro Wireless, which is also on sale on Amazon, sitting at $129.99. Normal price is $149.99. I would pick this one over the Turtle Beach if you just want to save some money and get a bit more performance. Now, when it comes to the wired one, the G7 HE, the Iron Man one is no longer available, but you can get the standard black or white for $49.99. The one with some of the best specs for a controller for the Xbox. Yes, you heard me right. The least expensive one with the best latency. I can't recommend the Turtle Beach anymore. It used to be my favorite, but with all the other options, it just isn't there. I can't recommend this one. Too expensive. Doesn't have it. Fusion Pro? Price is not bad. Functionality is there. Do you want to spend that type of money? Do you want to drop that cash? $129 right now on Amazon on a controller? Or do you want to save the money with the wired version? G7 HE. My pick? Convenience over price? If I had to pick, it's definitely going to be between the Fusion Pro and the HE. Wired, this is definitely the pick if you want wired. Wireless, this is the way to go. I can't recommend any other controllers after all the controllers I've tested. Some people say, hey, why didn't you choose the Elite Series 2? No Hall effect sticks, drift, 250 hertz. No, I'm sorry, can't do that. Why didn't you pick the Wolverine V3? One, my experience was pretty poor with it. It didn't work out of the box. And there's a lot of people that don't want to drop that kind of money for a controller that has an iffy track record. And you know what? I'm not the only one who had those issues. I looked at other people and a lot of people had issues out of the box. So it's another reason I am not recommending that one, especially with a price point that high. I would say if you want wireless, this one, wired, this one. But if I have to choose, I'm going to tell you the one that I would choose. Why? Because it's the one I've used the most. It has become my standard go-to controller if I'm playing, well, on my Series X. It's the Fusion Pro. The Fusion Pro wireless, not just because it's wireless. One, I love the features. I'm a sucker for good RGB. Aren't you? Aren't you a sucker for good RBG? I mean, RGB? Yeah, okay. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like any of these controllers? Have you used any of these? What do you think about my picks? Let me know your picks in the comment section below. Maybe I'll take a look at those if I haven't already. If I have, I'll send you the link to the video so you can watch that. Hey, or you can just scroll through my videos and see which ones you like best. Huh? There's a whole Xbox playlist of all Xbox controllers and whatnot. Go take a look at that. Or if you're looking at using any of these for the PC, you can do that as well. And I also have a PC gaming section, which has a ton of great PC controllers. But like I said, this is for the Xbox. So you'll be able to use this on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, or Xbox One. So any of your Xboxes that, well, are standard before that? No, because then you're looking at Xbox 360 and older. No, that's not the thing. But right now it is for Xbox Series XS and Xbox One. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.